Okay, I'll read this very fast. We'll only take you 10 minutes to answer a few questions we prepared for you to answer about your driving or riding habits. And you can talk as much as you want. Sometimes we will not answer you, but just give you a smile or a hum. That doesn't mean you are right or wrong. That just means we understand you and we are following what you are talking. So there is no good answer by answering this. We just want to hear your true feelings and your experience. So we are going to record this and we are going to use it maybe for student education purpose, but not for commercial. So if you are okay being recorded, we can start.
I'm fine.
Okay. Can I have your name and age?
Anderson Mendes, I'm 44 years old.
Thank you. And you are originally come from
Brazil.
And you have been both riding your bike and driving here?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been on the road before you came to Australia?
I drove for about 4 years, or about 3 to 4 years before I came to Australia, yeah.
And how about riding?
Riding over 15 years since I was a kid.
15 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So in your country, people drive and ride on right hand or left hand side?
Yeah, opposite to what we do in Australia.
Yeah, I think
so we drive on
right
yeah.
hand. Yes. Then how long have you been driving and riding here in Sydney?
For a long time now, close to 21 years.
Close to 21 years?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been here a really long time.
Yeah.
Cool. And could you describe, if you still remember, your first driving or riding experience in Sydney? Or maybe not the first time, but just those times in the beginning.
Yeah, I remember both. Riding was quite scary because as I brought my bike from overseas, I used to live quite far, and without doing proper research, I decided to ride all the way from Narrabeen, where I used to live, near Palm Beach, just before Palm Beach, to the city. And it was very dangerous and a very long ride. And I got a bit confused, but after I bought a car, a while after that, it was a bit challenging because even though the cars were automatic and I was used to manual cars, so it was one less thing for me to worry about, driving on the other side of the road was confusing. And I started driving maybe even though it was over a year since I was here, I still found quite complicated. But my first experience driving on the other side of the road actually, in fact, was in Bali. Because when I first came, within a few months, I went to Bali and I drove the first time on the other side. But because it was an island, there's no one on the road, and I just drove from where I was until the volcano I was visiting. So it was a bit easier, not like here, a city with proper rules and regulations and that you have to follow, and a lot of people on the roads as well. So yeah, it was quite complicated. So I think, other than the initial shock, I think back then, getting used to it was probably a bit easier than it is today, to a degree, because the roads were less congested. There were less people on the road. So
20 years ago?
Yeah, so there was less people around, and you know, I think
and at that time you were in Sydney as well?
Yes, in Sydney, yeah. Back then I used to live in Bondi Beach.
So you basically you start to rode in Sydney earlier than you start to drive. You start to drive.
Yeah, I rode my bike
after.
before. Yeah, much earlier. Yeah.
And could you talk more about the bicycle experience, like in the first year or even the first few months?
Yeah, I don't remember much because it was a long time ago. One of the things I loved about it was the fact that I could get on a ferry with the bike, because I found out it was too dangerous. So then I started riding to Manly, and then get the ferry and ride across the city to work was easier. Or I would just give up riding all the way to the city altogether, just ride locally. Riding locally was easy because it wasn't a busy area. Narrabeen was quite calm, so I could go to the shops and whatever. There wasn't too much concern because it wasn't a city sort of environment.
And
but,
in the, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In the, like right in the right beginning, did you like spend some time to get used to riding on the opposite side? Have you ever made any mistakes?
I don't remember making mistakes. I just rode along with the traffic. Because I used to ride a lot back home as well. So I would always be near the cars. If the cars were going that way, I'll be going that way.
So you never took the wrong side out of the road?
No, I never really remember getting on the wrong side of the road with the
Okay,
bike.
that's good. So it didn't take you long to get used to the opposite side situation?
Not with the bike. With the car, it took longer.
Like how long do you remember?
It would took, I mean, depending on how often we drive, but I think in the beginning, it took me a good, to really get comfortable with 2 or 3 months at least, driving constantly to get used to it.
Do you feel scared in the beginning when you are not used to it? Do you feel scared or?
Of course, very scared.
Driving slowly, more slower?
I wouldn't drive slowly if I was on a straight, but whenever I would come to an intersection and I have to make a decision, do I turn right or left? And if the intersection was quiet, it was very dangerous because I would be worried of which side, okay, keep left, keep left. So I always be talking to myself, thinking I've got to keep left, I don't go right.
Do you think it would be useful if someone will be sitting next to you to tell you turn left, remind you of that from time to time? Do you think it would be useful or not?
It would be distracting, but it would be better than nothing.
Some people mentioned they put a sticker on the window in front of them, written like left, left, left. Do you think that would be useful or not?
Not for me, because I don't look at my windscreen. I always like to look way ahead. I don't really pay attention. My peripheral vision is more focused on what's outside, not so much what's inside of the car.
That makes sense. And have you ever tried to get some knowledge of the traffic laws or the situation of driving left before you decided to ride bike and drive here, or even in Bali? Before you go there?
No. Here, when I went to Bali, I could use my Brazilian driver's license, but here I had to pass a driving test to get my license. So I went through the educational system from RTA at the time, and I learned the rules and everything that were very similar to what we had in Brazil, but slight variations and what the road sign and whatnot, and the focus on keep left because they knew, but I went through my test and I passed in the first go, especially because I was driving a manual car, so it was okay.
Okay, and you find that system helpful or not that much helpful?
I think it's helpful. The government, because especially back then was a lot of paper-based and very archaic computer systems, but now with technology, I think the system is much easier. You probably even have virtual driving inside with the game.
Yeah, since you mentioned, do you think that simulated driving environment, in this case, can help new drivers who just came over?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Because back then, like I said, I did simulating, I'm pretty sure, and it was like games, nothing like it would be today, but it was helpful to a degree.
Great to know that. And one last question is, what do you think of sharing the driving path between cars and cyclists?
Because I do both, I think it's an important, the road is there to be shared, everyone has the right to use it. As long as both sides are abiding by the rules, everyone can be happy. I think as a driver, a car driver, I think we have to be very mindful of people that have less protection. And as a rider, I'd like people to follow especially the rules that have been introduced that say that you have to keep 1.5 meters and whatnot. I have seen some horrible things, and it's not very nice. Or I've been in situations where drivers are not as nice, they will cut in front of you when you're riding a bike, and they should be a bit less aggressive, I should say. But it's not always, but it does happen, yes. The aggressive behavior from drivers towards cyclists. And I rarely see the same level of aggression between a cyclist towards a driver, so I think it's eye-opener, really.
By the way, do you know that there is a new regulation came out this year saying that driver has to provide 1 meter distance?
That's
you know
what
that?
I meant. Yeah,
Okay.
1.5. If they abide by that, it makes life easier.
How did you know this new law, from TV or from newspaper? Or?
Oh yeah, no, from the news.
From the news. Okay.
I always read the news.
Okay.
Way before it was implemented, I knew already it was coming. And when it happened, I was really happy because it came along with a lot and many new rules. I was really aware of it. Like I said, I ride every day to work.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're
That's
welcome.
all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a mistake by me. I didn't ask about driving, the driving, any accidents occurred, but Anderson mentioned that he had some dangerous situation before while driving.
Yeah. In the early days of driving, definitely after getting my first car in Australia, I remember coming to the city when it was easy to park in the city, and I went to the movies. And when I finished the movie, I had to drive home. I used to live in Bondi Beach, so I had to go up Bathurst Street, turn left on Elizabeth Street.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth Street, when you turn left from Bathurst, near Museum Station, I meant to drive to my left, but instead I went to the right side of the road, and the incoming traffic, being a very busy street, was coming towards me. So it was lucky it was a bit later at night, so the incoming traffic wasn't that busy, and traffic coming from towards Circular Quay from Elizabeth. So I had to reverse my car all the way back to the right side, and then, so it was a bit of a dangerous scenario. Luckily, there was no accidents or anything, and I didn't get a fine for that, because there's no police around. It was very quick.
There wasn't those cameras
No.
at that time.
No cameras, no. And even today, there's no camera in that crossing. But more important was the fact that I didn't panic. I freaked out, but not panic that I froze. I freaked out, I need to get out of here. Change the gear, reverse. So basically, I was here on the wrong side, so the crossing was here. So I had to reverse all the way here and continue to the right one, because this was the wrong one.
Luckily, there was no car behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it was a bit. There were cars coming this way, but not many that will come from behind. So it was after the movie, so maybe 10:30 at night. So it was a lucky day.
Can you still recall, it happened when? How long have you been on the road in Sydney?
Yeah, like I said, about 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, maybe 1 month. No, maybe even less. Maybe 1 month or so. Driving. So it was very early days.
Did you do anything afterwards you realized this can be very dangerous?
Yeah, I kept repeating myself to myself every day. Keep left, keep left, keep left. So until I learned.
Okay, thank you for sharing this.
No worries.